Okay, I'm back in London where we've been talking about the latest developments in all things enterprise process automation, if I can call it that. Just getting the lift down. There we go. And I had this sudden realization of, haven't we been here before? Because back in the, when was it, late 1990s, I was doing process modeling with select software tools. That's that one for a start. Then, of course, came all the really big process platforms, the SAPs and the Salesforces. Was it Salesforce? No. Then, of course, we had all the really big platforms, the SAPs and the Siebels, ERP systems and CRM systems and all that. And, they were interesting because they were trying to suggest that you could fix the processes according to what the applications told you, which was true to an extent, but we all know just how much money was spent on Accenture and other consulting firms in order to get the customizations required, and they're probably still spending for that matter. Now that's when things got really interesting, because then we started to see that, it was the web, and it was e-commerce, and the dawn of what was initially called ASPs, Application Service Providers. I remember writing a report all about them and how they were going to be the future. And they've done a pretty good job of being that. That's of course what begat SaaS platforms, software as a service. So Salesforce, of course, Salesforce.com originally, with its Force.com platform, and all the very many systems and services that we can get now online. Which begs the question, which I kind of hit upon like mid-afternoon, having listened to all these sessions about process automation and so on. Literally, I've been doing this stuff, thinking about it, watching it, following it for about 25 years now. So why are we still talking about it? And I suddenly felt really dumb because I didn't really know the answer. But we had a good conversation all about that. And two things came out of it. One was that the tooling back then certainly wasn't as good as it is now. It wasn't as capable. And that actually begets the complexity problem. So more capable tooling actually drives more data, which we then have to process and manage. And so it becomes this kind of cycle of the tools back then trying to manage the amount of data and the kinds of data and the global nature of the businesses that we're working with today just wouldn't have been adequate. But of course, that's an infinite loop if you want to see it that way. The other thing, of course, is that organizations need to change. And that's, again, technology driven. So as we've seen through the e-commerce wave and right up to today, when we're talking about customer experience and digital transformation and so on, all the capabilities that are now available, organizations are looking to harness those in order to deliver all those lovely new services to their customers. But of course, new services require new processes and new ways of thinking about it. So we do end up back in a situation where we've got organizations with multiple data sources, multiple new ways of doing things that aren't necessarily that efficient, multiple tools not necessarily that well joined together, and they end up needing the same platforms that maybe they needed back in the 90s, but they're the same in the fact that they need them. They're very different in the capabilities that they offer. It does beg the question. I'm going to sit down. Oh, here we go, that's better. So, it does beg the question of, will we ever be finished? Is this cycle going to continue and continue? Will we in 10, 20, 30 years' time be looking at, do you know what? That workflow is very inefficient. Maybe we can improve it in some way. I know, here's a platform. Maybe we can do it with that. Well, in part we won't, because technology is going to continue to evolve. Business processes are going to continue to evolve, but also there's the kind of decay curve factor. So when you put something in place, it falls into a state of disrepair over time, obviously. And that's as true for conceptual items like business processes, data models, and so on, as it is for mechanical stuff. So there's absolutely every reason that in 10, 15, 20 years' time, we're going to need to fix what is broken, because that's the nature of the entropy of the universe. Sorry. I'm still sitting down. And I'm thinking about the fact that, we'll what can we do about this if we can't do anything about the fact that it's going to change? Well, the answer is we can get a bit more of a stable platform in place. One of the things we've seen over the past 10 years is the notion of a platform has kind of gone away. We were very into it in the 2000s of building these enterprise-wide software application stacks, but kind of moved away from that in the name of agility, and we've ended up with very, very fragmented environments. And I think we'll see this a little bit in the predictions piece that we're putting together at the moment with Gegaron. But we are seeing a move more towards platforms, well-governed environments that we can then see as a foundation for the organization, rather than trying to pull them together in a DIY fashion, all these different tools all the time. Go on then, I'll get back up. I mean, as we do that, as we think about it, I do think that we can maybe learn from the lessons of the past, recognize that change is inevitable. We're not building cathedrals, but neither are we necessarily building a bazaar. And therefore, we're trying to strike that middle ground. So as we're putting something together, we want it to be the backbone of the business. We don't want it to just be a bunch more legacy stuff that's going to fall apart within 5 years. And therefore, we need to architect it in some way, both the systems and the processes, so it's going to work as we go into the future and get some longevity out of it. There we go. Thank you very much, Karina Bushevek, Ben Stanford, all the Appian people that I've been speaking to for helping me work out these puzzles. So get ready, keep it groovy, and prepare yourself for the future.
Indeed, it is Appian Europe 2023, and the 60s are swinging, and so are we.